So I moved to New York City in 1982, which was just in time for the HIV/AIDS crisis. And I went to a couple ACT UP meetings when ACT UP first started. And I was always interested in social justice causes. So I have been to Black Lives Matter protests and women's reproductive right protests and protests against the Republican National Convention being in New York. But the galvanizing thing that drew me into a life of activism was the Pulse Orlando massacre, because it just hit me in the gut and it really radicalized me. You know, I heard about this event and I just had a gut level reaction that I wanted to do something about it. So when I first started working with Gays Against Guns, we formed it out of nothing, and I didn't have a lot of friends who were interested in joining that group, and I did have a lot of people that I knew peripherally who were interested in joining the group. My friends that I had been close with before didn't really transition over into this new focus for me. So I'm still good friends with all of my old friends, but the people that I spend the most time with are the people who are involved in activism now. It's hard for me to qualify something that I've done through activism as a success. I mean, if you look on paper, you can see very clearly that Gays Against Guns, the group that we started, has had enormous attention, and we've been able to bring a focus and a spotlight to a lot of issues that I don't think people would have been as informed about. Honestly, I feel like the biggest success that we've had is watching the students in Parkland. They've adopted our playbook, and it's really great to see the next generation of activists coming along and picking up the torch and running with it. It's a much more satisfying experience for me to see other people having that same experience and feeling strongly about something and wanting to get involved and putting their bodies on the line. These kids, not only the Parkland students, just random students, got in a car, drove to DC, went to Mitch McConnell's office, sat down, refused to leave, got arrested, and got the attention of so many media outlets back onto the issue of gun violence, which is a life or death issue that cycles through the news cycle so fast regularly. But the students have been super canny about planning their events strategically in such a way that the momentum builds and the attention doesn't get lost. So for me, the biggest success that we've had is that we've been able to contribute to the conversation around gun violence prevention. Whenever there's a mass shooting in the United States, gun sales spike. And similarly, whenever there's a mass shooting in the United States, interest in gun violence prevention spikes. But inevitably what happens is the interest wanes. And there's been times that we've shown up to a regularly scheduled meeting of Gays Against Guns when the attendance is very sparse. And it's frustrating because the same number of people die every day. 93 people in the United States die every day from a gunshot. So that remains the same, but the interest goes up and down. So it's frustrating when you have really devoted a lot of your time and energy and attention to this, but you experience the natural attrition that is just part of the cycle. when I think about what doors have opened and what doors have closed, I mean, it's kind of a wash. You know, the doors that opened for me were the opportunity to spend a lot of my free time organizing things for activist groups that I work with. Because I don't only work with Gays Against Guns. Once Trump got elected, I started working with Rise and Resist, and I've shifted to that. And every week I get an email from another group that I think I would love to get involved with that organization. There's this great group called the Creative Resistance, and they're all artists who are generating content that will hopefully sway public opinion. And so the doors that have closed are, you know, free time. I used to go to a lot of movies, and I don't have the time to do that anymore. But the doors that have opened are whole new groups of friends and networks, and not only that, but a real sense of satisfaction. You know, when you go to a great movie, you get out of the movie and you feel great and you're glad that you had that experience. When you get back from a demonstration where you've been arrested, or you're just held that sign up, or you sang some silly song for an hour and made people stop and take notice, you have a really deep sense of satisfaction. And I always can fall back on the feeling that I've done my best. I did my part. I saw what was wrong, and I did what I could to fix it.